guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista, here on YouTube, and today is another face-to-face chat and true crime story time, although we are going to read also another article that I found today and I was fascinated. So today is Friday, December 10th, and it is 12:10 p.m. and I am already done work for the day. Let's go! Yeah, so the past 2 days for the arbitration, hideous. I mean, off the fucking charts, like witnesses and just the team and just, yeah. So, fully prepared today to have a full work day, not get done until 7:30, and I was going to do the video at the lunch break because that is the habit I've gotten into. So my part was coming up, my next section was coming up at like page 80, and they were on like, I don't know, 75, something like that. And so I'm watching and I see the arbitrator say, "So is that all we have for today?" And I'm like, huh? And other people say yes, and he's like, "Okay, have a good weekend." And I'm like, what just happened here? My boss didn't even know they were going to end that early. So they were done at like 10:45. Oh yeah. So doing a bunch of things, and I decided to mail my brother's gifts by UPS because the thought of going into that post office, just no. So I paid to have UPS pick up the package from my house. So yeah, that's already out there and ready to go. And yeah, so if any of you are inclined to send me a gift or something to my P.O. box, please email me and let me know you either sent it or email me, and I'll even consider giving you my home address because I do not even want to set foot in that post office. I really don't. It's just so ridiculously crowded and busy and stuff. Let me take a breath. So I decided to DoorDash Chick-fil-A for breakfast again. Oh yes, it is so worth the $20. Give him like a $4 tip. It's so worth it. The other day, Bill saw this on the, he came in from work and saw this, and he looked at me and looked at the drink. And I said, "Yeah, I DoorDashed it." He's like, "You did what?" I said, "You don't get to say anything. No! You don't get to say anything about what I spent. No! Not when you just bought a boat. Yeah! No! You get to," I said, "you just get to zip your lip. That's what you get to do." Yeah. Yeah, just bought a boat. A used boat, but Jesus Christ. You know, when Bill buys something, it's not like spending $50 on fabric. It's like thousands of dollars. Yeah. So, guess what? I get to fucking DoorDash whatever I want, especially when I'm working during the arbitration. Yeah. Okay. So, the article, I gotta find the tab because I have like 8,000 tabs open on here, which isn't good. We're gonna close all these. Oh no. No. Yeah, we're going to close all these tabs real quick. Wow, it is ridiculous how many tabs I have open. Ooh. That will bog down your computer and your phone, just to let you know. I'm on Bill all the time about it. You got to close your shit. Okay. So, you guys know I wear glasses for the computer, but I also wear readers for like stitching, diamond painting, stuff like that. This article caught my eye, and it was just on CBS News website yesterday. New FDA-approved eye drops could replace reading glasses. What? Okay, so let's read this article and see. So, a newly approved eye drop hitting the market on Thursday. So, next Thursday? could change the lives of millions of Americans with age-related blurred near vision, a condition affecting mostly people 40 and older. Vuity, is that how you say that? It's Vuity, which was approved by the Food and Drug Administration in October, would potentially replace reading glasses for some of the 128 million Americans who have trouble seeing close up. The new medicine takes effect in about 15 minutes, with one drop on each eye, providing sharper vision for 6 to 10 hours, according to the company. So, one of the 750 people who did a clinical trial for it said she liked what she saw. She said it's definitely a life changer. She said before the trial, the only way she could see things clearly was by keeping reading glasses everywhere in her office, bathroom, kitchen, and car. That sounds like me. I was in denial because to me that was a sign of growing older, needing to wear glasses. So it was in 2019 that her doctor told her about a new eye drop with the potential to correct her vision problems temporarily. So she instantly noticed a difference. She said, I would not need my readers as much, especially on the computer. So the eye drops are the first to treat age-related blurry near vision, also known as presbyopia. Hope I said that right. The prescription drug utilizes the eye's natural ability to reduce its pupil size. So reducing the pupil size expands the depth of field or the depth of focus, and that allows you to focus at different ranges naturally. So a 30-day supply of the drug will cost $80. Holy hell. It says, and works best in people 40 to 55 years old. So side effects included headaches and red eyes. Says, this is something that we anticipate will be well tolerated long term, but this will be evaluated and studied in a formal capacity. So it's by no means a cure-all, and the maker does caution against using the drops when driving at night or performing activities in low light conditions. The drops are for mild to intermediate cases and are less effective after age 65. Users may also have temporary difficulty in adjusting focus between objects near and far. And I was just thinking that because, when I have my readers on, I have them down like this because if I'm watching TV, I don't need them. So I need to look down at my stitching and then over to my iPad. If I have the iPad close enough, I can use the readers for everything. But yeah, so I don't know if I would use that. But isn't that cool though? Just the option. I thought that was really neat. Okay, so in continuing our series, what the fuck is happening here? In continuing our series of Good night. Shocking celebrity murders. Do I need to restart my iPad here? I'm clicking and nothing's clicking. Okay, this is so utterly annoying right now. Okay, it went to the wrong book. No. Finally. Good night. Yeah, okay. So the next shocking celebrity murder is Phil Hartman. And I had heard about this one, and I'm sure many of you have as well. So Phil Hartman in Hollywood, California in May of 1998. And the suspect is Bryn Hartman, who is his wife. I'm pretty sure. Yes. So, and she died in 1998 before being convicted. Okay. So, Phil Hartman became famous on Saturday Night Live, where his skits are now legendary. But as much as he is known for his life's work, he is also known for his disturbing death. Shot 3 times by his own wife before she took her own life. So no wonder she died before she fucking committed suicide. A native of Ontario, Canada, Phil was born on September 24th, 1948. His parents were of fairly modest means, and he and his brothers and sisters are said to have grown up in some fairly cramped conditions. But eventually, his father was able to build 2 additional rooms onto the family homestead, thereby alleviating some of the strain. By the late 1950s, his family had made the decision to leave Canada behind, however, and moved down to the United States. Phil initially struggled to fit into community life outside the home, and inside the family he felt unnoticed. Well, that's a shame. He came from a big family, and his brother John tended to get all of the positive attention due to his good looks, athletic ability, and natural charisma. Phil soon discovered that the only way for him to stand out was to become as abrasive and obnoxious as possible. He would later credit this compulsion to cause himself to get noticed as the ultimate drive that led him to become a comedian. Growing up, he was remembered as an A, B, and C student. Rarely would he get a D or an F, but he never tried hard enough academically to be on the honor roll either. Instead, his interest lay in the growing list of celebrities that he enjoyed impersonating. Rather than good grades, he was known around school for his hilarious takes on stars such as John Wayne, Bob Newhart, and Jonathan Winters. It was Phil's spot-on impersonations that got him the attention of fellow student John Holloway, with whom he shared a homeroom class. As odd as they may have seemed to others, a favorite pastime of the pair was to go over to Holloway's house and watch old movies on mute so that they could insert their own parody dialogue. If you've ever seen the gag program Mystery Science Theater 3000, I've seen it, it's really good, in which the narrators make remarks throughout cheesy films, then you basically get the idea of what these two goofy friends were up to. But as strange as the pastime may have seemed to outsiders, it is actually stunts like this that served as preparation and dress rehearsal for a guy who would become one of the greatest sketch artists ever to appear on Saturday Night Live. So by the time he graduated from Westchester High School on June 17, 1966, Phil knew that his true passion was somewhere outside of the halls of academia. School, college is not for everyone. Even so, upon his graduation, he made sure to sign up for classes at Santa Monica City College, where in between surfing with his buddies on the beach, he took some classes. Take a breath. He eventually used his coursework at Santa Monica as a springboard to attend California State University, where Phil ended up graduating with a bachelor's of fine art, or in fine art. Fresh out of school, he had some success with his artistic endeavors and at one point designed artwork for the music group America. He also married his first wife, Gretchen Lewis, around this time, before divorcing her in 1972, so they were not married very long. By the mid-1970s, however, he needed to get back to his comedic roots, and he hooked up with a local band of comedians that were dubbed the Groundlings. Another famous member of this group was Paul Reubens, who would eventually develop the famous character of Pee Wee Herman. Indeed, Phil Hartman would eventually come to make cameo appearances in the 1980s hit show Pee Wee's Playhouse. Hartman starred as the absurd pirate Captain Carl. And I did watch that show. I loved Pee Wee Herman. His movie and everything, hilarious. It was in the guise of this character that Phil Hartman sang his own personal theme song, "Oh, a sailor travels to many lands, any place he pleases, and he always remembers to wash his hands so he don't get no diseases." Okay. This role provided Hartman instant notoriety, but it was in 1986 when he was recruited to join the cast of Saturday Night Live, and that his career really took off. A lot of things happened in the meantime. So Phil married his second wife, Lisa Strain, in 1982, divorcing her in 1985. Hartman would remain on Saturday Night Live for 8 full seasons before leaving the cast in 1994. He left behind several memorable skits, including the infamous Crosby Show skit, mimicking the Cosby Show, complete with guest Jamal Warner, who played Theo on the show. During the act, instead of being Bill Cosby, Phil Hartman played 1940s crooner Bing Crosby. That had to have been hilarious. But no doubt, the most memorable moments of Phil Hartman's tenure at Saturday Night Live was his unfrozen caveman lawyer routine, in which he played the part of a caveman who thawed out from the Ice Age, went to law school, and became a lawyer. In this role, Phil reprised the infamous catchphrase, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm just a caveman. Your world frightens and confuses me." It was during his high-flying run at SNL that Phil Hartman married his third and final wife, Bryn Omdahl. The two got hitched on November 25th, 1987. Although happy that Phil had found someone, his friends noted from the beginning that Bryn was possessive and easily jealous of her husband. Phil's ex-wife, Lisa, got a taste of this over-the-top jealous treatment herself when she sent Phil and Bryn a card congratulating the couple on their new child who was born in 1988. Although Lisa was no longer married to Phil, they were still friendly and on good terms, and it was simply something she did to wish both Phil as well as his new wife Bryn all the best. Admittedly, there are a lot of people who might feel a little unsettled to receive any communication, even a nice congratulatory note from the ex-spouse of their husband or wife. But as a celebrity who hobnobbed with countless men and women on a regular basis, for Phil it was just part of the territory. And regardless of how Bryn might have felt about it, her response was certainly in the extreme. After getting the congratulatory note, Bryn sent back a rage-filled letter to Lisa, in which she basically threatened to kill her if she didn't stay away from Phil. Wow, yeah, that's a bit much. In light of how things turned out, some might say that this was a red flag, warning everyone of things to come. At any rate, after leaving SNL, Phil starred in a wide variety of roles, of small roles, the most famous of which was perhaps the most surprising. Phil was cast for some voice acting for a character on the animated series The Simpsons. His first forays with the popular cartoon sitcom actually began before he left Saturday Night Live and would become a recurring gig in Phil's later years. In the show, he did the voiceover for a washed-up former actor named Troy McClure. The character was partially based on some of Phil's own experiences of rejection and midlife crisis as an actor. The humorous character was often shown appearing on The Simpsons television set during late-night infomercials, in which he always began with, "Hello, I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from such films as," before mentioning some absurd title to an obscure B-movie from decades gone by. The character, of course, was a total gag, but Troy McClure would go on to become a cult favorite in the Simpsons universe. At any rate, while Phil experimented with these amusing side gigs, no one was quite sure what Phil Hartman's next major project might be. Then came News Radio, a sitcom that cast Phil as the overbearing radio man Bill McNeil. The show would be fairly successful in its initial run, and the future once again looked promising, and the show was really good. I did watch it. But all of these possibilities came to an end in 1998 when the unthinkable occurred. So in the lead up to Phil Hartman's death, him and his wife Bryn's relationship had deteriorated. This was due in large part to her worsening addiction to drugs and alcohol. The couple frequently fought over her substance abuse problems, and on May 28, 1998, one of those arguments took a deadly turn. Early that morning, after a heated exchange, Bryn picked up a gun and shot Phil Hartman several times. After killing her husband, Bryn proceeded to drink and snort cocaine before calling up her friend Douglas. So Douglas gets a call from Bryn just after 3 in the morning, and you would think, what the hell, right? Bryn asks Douglas if she can come over to his house, and he tells her it's late, she should probably stay home. Around 4 in the morning, Douglas is woken up to find Bryn banging on his door. She's entirely intoxicated. She bursts into his house and begins to rant and rave about killing Phil. Considering her state, Douglas didn't take her word seriously and figured it was just the booze talking. Bryn eventually collapsed on the floor, only to wake up moments later to run to the bathroom and throw up. At one point, however, Bryn produces a gun from her purse, which Douglas immediately takes from her. He examines the gun, and it initially appears that all 6 bullets are in the little 6-shooter. Douglas is relieved, thinking that her ramblings about shooting Phil must be imaginary. At a second glance, however, he realizes he is mistaken and sees that 3 of the bullets have indeed been expended. Growing concerned, he has Bryn drive back to her home, with his car following close behind so that he can check on Phil himself. And I'm guessing, I don't know, she was in no state to be driving, that's for sure. Upon entering the residence, Douglas then learns the terrible truth. After seeing Phil's dead body stretched out on the bed, Douglas realizes that Bryn did indeed kill her husband, Phil Hartman. So Douglas calls 911 upon finding Phil's body. With first responders on the way, Bryn suddenly ran into the bedroom where Phil lay and locked herself inside. She made one last frantic call out to her sister Kathy, asking her to take care of her kids, Jesus. Before Bryn picked up another gun, because Phil was an avid gun collector. So there were several around, and she shot herself. Police broke through the locked doors of the bedroom shortly thereafter and found Bryn laying by her slain husband's side with a gun in hand. Since it was quite clear who the killer was, the investigation was concluded with Bryn's death. Phil Hartman's wife, Bryn, appeared to be the obvious suspect. If the circumstances of her death had not been so obvious, however, one could imagine a few other suspects that would have potentially emerged. Douglas, for example, could have been turned into a suspect if investigators would have considered it possible that he had staged the whole thing himself. Fortunately for Douglas, however, Bryn's guilt was obvious. Bryn's manic spiral was documented not just by Douglas, but also through phone call conversations between Bryn and her sister Kathy, as well as dialogue recorded between her and emergency personnel. Police were then right on the scene just before Bryn killed herself, making all involved absolutely certain that Bryn was indeed the killer. And I thought I heard something. There was no conviction, obviously, since Bryn took her own life the very same day that she killed him. How awful, though. I mean, just to, you get in an argument and you kill somebody. I mean, I can't imagine it. That's just a tragedy. I mean, he taken way too far. And in the middle, I think, of when the news radio show was being filmed. So they had to write his death into the show. I think they did. I can't remember. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, just because you're a celebrity does not mean you're removed from all of the wacky, crazy things. If anything, you're probably more susceptible to it, right? But let me know down below if you have heard this story. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I probably will be having 2 more videos out today, actually, now that I have like half the day. I have an unboxing to do of a diamond painting that has been sitting for a while. And then I have a stitching like advent box that that's been sitting for like 2 weeks. So I'm gonna take the time, I think, today to film those and show those. So as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.